What if the worst day of your professional life was actually a carefully disguised lottery win? Good evening. I'm reporting live on a digital phenomenon that has completely baffled traditional music executives and rewritten the script on modern stardom. Back in 2018, a 14-year-old vocalist from Wigan took the stage on The Voice Kids UK. Her name was Lucy Thomas. To the average viewer watching at home, her sudden elimination in the semi-finals felt like a heartbreaking, devastating conclusion to a massive dream. Fans flooded message boards, lamenting what they assumed was the end of a promising career. But behind the scenes of major television talent competitions lies a restrictive ecosystem that few outsider commentators ever discuss. Historically, winning a major television talent contract forces young artists into incredibly rigid multi-album deals with mainstream pop conglomerates. These corporate entities often demand immediate, trendy radio hits, completely stripping a young performer of their artistic identity and long-term career longevity. Had Lucy Thomas secured the top spot that evening, she likely would have been funneled into a temporary pop machine, vulnerable to dropping out of public favor the moment the next season aired. Instead, by falling just short of the trophy, she walked away with her artistic freedom entirely intact. It was an unmitigated blessing in disguise. This structural defeat fundamentally freed her from corporate traps, allowing her to make moves that left industry insiders stunned. Reports from that period suggest her team immediately recognized the immense power of independent maneuverability over flashing corporate validation. Little did the public know, this televised exit wasn't a failure at all. It was the precise moment a global musical empire was quietly set into motion. The moment she stepped off that television stage, a highly unconventional entity was waiting in the shadows to completely alter her trajectory. Instead of chasing mainstream pop management or seeking a deal with a massive commercial label, the teenager quietly signed on the dotted line with an obscure, highly specialized firm known as Cavendish Records. Named after the eccentric historical scientist Henry Cavendish, this label didn't operate like any ordinary music group in London. While global giants were spending millions trying to manufacture the next short-lived viral dance trend, Cavendish Records recognized a massive, completely demographic in the global market, the classical crossover and traditional musical audience. This consumer base doesn't just scroll past content. They buy physical media, they attend high-end theater venues, and they demonstrate intense lifelong brand loyalty. Industry observers began whispering about the unique nature of this alliance. Rumors suggest that major labels have repeatedly tried to step in and buy out her contract as her independent metrics began outperforming their own top-tier signed talent. Yet, the Wigan-born vocalist flatly refused to sell out to the traditional studio system. This partnership granted her an almost unprecedented level of creative control, enabling her to execute a grueling but highly rewarding production schedule. Since 2019, she has consistently delivered a brand new studio album nearly every single 12 months, spanning from premiere and encore to her highly celebrated portrait project. This relentless output would have been utterly impossible under a traditional label, where corporate delays routinely shelve projects for years. It is an independent strategy, proving that bypassing the standard industry gatekeepers can yield an untouchable market position. How does an independent classical artist accumulate over 1.5 billion views worldwide without receiving an ounce of traditional radio airplay? This is the multi-million-dollar question keeping major entertainment executives awake at night. The digital footprint of Lucy Thomas defies every single rule of modern pop marketing. Traditional strategies dictate that a modern artist must rely on high-budget, cinematic music videos, public drama, and aggressive radio promotion campaigns to survive. Yet, if you look closely at her digital presence, the strategy is defined by absolute minimalist purity. Her team deployed what digital analysts call an emotional saturation strategy on video platforms. They uploaded straightforward, entirely unedited studio performances of legendary, universally recognized anthems like Hallelujah, a single release that quickly exploded past 70 million views. The visual presentation was simple: a microphone, a studio backdrop, and an undeniable vocal delivery. This deliberate absence of high-production gimmicks acted as a massive algorithmic trigger. Video ranking engines began favoring her content because viewers refused to click away, resulting in near-perfect audience retention metrics. Speculation online has long circulated that her massive international numbers in major territories like Tokyo and the United States were driven by localized viral anomalies. However, data suggests it was a calculated understanding of human psychology. In an era dominated by heavily synthesized tracks and hyper-edited content, her vocal purity became a rare commodity. Her digital platforms didn't just build a standard subscriber base. They established a self-sustaining global distribution network that functions entirely independent of mainstream media backing, turning a local singer into an international powerhouse. Behind her solo success lies a hidden tactical asset that transformed a casual listening audience into a fanatical global community. Just as her solo career was reaching escape velocity, her team introduced a highly effective psychological element to her digital uploads: unexpected duets featuring her sister Thomas. When the two siblings combined their vocal talents for sweeping renditions of emotional anthems like "You Raise Me Up" and "Can You Feel the Love Tonight?", the internet reacted instantly. This move was far more than a simple family collaboration. It was a brilliant piece of brand positioning that traditional pop labels are completely incapable of replicating. Mainstream entertainment frequently relies on manufactured controversies, revealing outfits, and constant interpersonal conflict to generate headlines and maintain relevance. By stark contrast, the Thomas sisters offered an entirely wholesome, grassroots family dynamic that made global viewers feel as though they had stumbled upon an intimate, untold secret. This authentic presentation completely bypassed the cynical armor of the modern internet consumer. It triggered an intense psychological loyalty, converting standard casual viewers into deeply invested stakeholders in her career journey. Comment sections quickly transformed into highly active communities, with fans sharing her family videos like heirlooms. This organic engagement strategy shielded her from the typical volatility of the internet landscape. While other viral creators face sudden public backlashes or rapid audience burnout, this family-centric approach anchored her brand in reliability. It successfully proved that creating a deep, genuine emotional connection with an audience is infinitely more valuable than chasing fleeting, highly volatile internet hype. In a cutthroat business known for chewing up and discarding young talent, how did this independent vocalist manage to keep her finances completely secure? The music industry is littered with cautionary tales of young prodigies who vanished into obscurity, broken by exploitative corporate contracts. Legal battles over master recordings and unfair revenue splits have historically ruined the careers of countless talent show alumni. Yet, the strategic architecture surrounding Lucy Thomas completely insulated her from these common financial pitfalls. By utilizing an independent distribution model through Cavendish Records, her team ensured that a massive portion of her digital streaming revenue, physical merchandise sales, and performance royalties flowed directly back into her own operation. Industry insiders have speculated that her profit margins per stream are significantly higher than those of mainstream pop stars who are forced to split their earnings with dozens of corporate executives, curators, and public relations teams. Furthermore, she completely avoided the toxic demand to alter her appearance or musical style to fit the shifting whims of pop radio. She never had to compromise her personal values or engage in fabricated public relationships for cheap media attention. This absolute level of protection allowed her to focus entirely on vocal refinement and catalog building. By controlling her own masters and maintaining a direct, unmediated relationship with her audience, she built an ironclad financial foundation. She effectively transformed her name into a self-sustaining corporation before she even entered her 20s, proving that long-term career security doesn't require selling your soul to a major entertainment conglomerate. As we move through 2026, a high-stakes theatrical pivot is that could permanently cement her status as an untouchable live performer. The digital world has officially been conquered, but the ultimate test of an artist's longevity lies in the live arena. Instead of remaining confined to the realm of viral internet covers, the 22-year-old powerhouse has launched an aggressive expansion into original musical. Taking on the prestigious title role in Thomas has made a definitive transition into London's elite West End theatre scene, commanding performances at iconic venues like the Royal Lane. Backed by massive 30-piece live orchestras, she is actively demonstrating that her studio vocals are fully capable of filling historic, multi-tier theatrical spaces without the assistance of digital pitch correction. Reports from recent European concert announcements indicate that her live ticket sales are rivaling major mainstream touring acts, driven entirely by her dedicated global traveling across borders to see her perform live. This theatrical pivot is a calculated strategy to transition her brand from a viral internet sensation into a highly prestigious, permanent cultural institution. By anchoring her name to original theater productions and classical crossover events, she ensures her career can easily thrive for decades to come, entirely independent of internet algorithms or changing social media trends. As the curtain rises on her latest live endeavors, one truth remains absolutely undeniable. Lucy Thomas has successfully executed a flawless, independent blueprint that has completely revolutionized the concept of modern musical stardom. When you strip away the spectacular vocal talent, what is the ultimate takeaway from this historic blueprint of independent success? As we conclude this special investigative report, the trajectory of Lucy Thomas offers a profoundly disruptive lesson to the entire global entertainment industry. For decades, the path to mainstream musical success was strictly linear. Submit to a major television talent network, sign away your creative rights to a corporate entity, and pray that corporate executives continue to fund your career. This independent Wigan phenomenon has completely shattered that archaic paradigm. By turning a televised semifinal defeat into an absolute operational victory, her team proved that a highly focused niche market is infinitely more stable than a broad, fickle mainstream pop audience. Her journey demonstrates that consistency, pure unadulterated talent, and direct audience ownership are the ultimate metrics of modern career longevity. She has created a highly profitable, globally recognized brand entirely on her own terms, completely insulated from industry scandals, changing corporate gatekeepers, or algorithmic volatility. As traditional major record labels continue to watch their market share fluctuate in a fractured digital landscape, the independent model, established by Cavendish Records and Lucy Thomas, stands as a brilliant, glowing beacon for the future of independent creators worldwide. It forces us to ask a critical question about the future of the entire media landscape. In an era where any artist can speak directly to a global audience, do we even need the traditional gatekeepers anymore? The answers, written in billions of streams and sold-out theaters, seems to be a resounding no.